Now we'll learn the most important type of factorization known as factorization by splitting the middle term. I can even call this as the king of factorization because it's so important. In fact, it's so important that finally it just turns out to be that instead of learning this method, there's a formula to use it directly and do it in a much faster way. But the real fun lies in learning this method because it's really fun. If this one method where you really enjoy doing is this method. So the standard way the polynomial appears is ax square plus bx plus c. If you have a polynomial of this type, x square, x and constant with the coefficient a, b and c. So there are only 3 terms. You have a square of the variable, you have just the variable and there is a constant. If you have a polynomial of this type, how do you put it into such factors that when you multiply them, you will get this original. Okay. So let us do this using some problems. Okay. So let it be like x square plus 11x plus 30. Looks similar, isn't it? Okay. Now I have to break it into 2 or 3 portions, I don't know, so that when I multiply them, I should be getting this. What is the procedure? Okay. First thing is you have to put them in this order. If the question is written in a different order, say 11x plus x square plus 30. If the question says factorize this, and if it is written in this order, we have to put it in this order of decreasing, power of x variable. X square, then you have the power is 1 and there is no power, x to the power 0. So in the decreasing order is what we have to write it first. So since it is already written like this, so we will continue from here. Now look at the coefficient of x square, which is here a. What is here? 1. So you multiply this into c. That is what you are going to do is multiply a into c. That's what you are supposed to do. So here 1 into 30, we write it as 30 along with the sign. So plus into plus, I will write it as plus. Now this plus sign is going to give us the idea what I should do. I will find all the factors of 30 just taken 2 at a time, like 1 into 30, 2 into 15, 3 into 10, all those things. Initially we learn like this. After some time it just becomes a habit. You can directly get the answer actually. So let me write it like that. 1 into 30, then you have 2 into 15, 3 into 10. What else? 4 will not come. Then 5 into 6. After that, it's just a repetition, isn't it? Next, you will be writing 6 into 5. So that doesn't make any difference. So this is maximum you can write. Okay. Because when you continue like this and you write 6 into 5, then what else? You will write 10 into 3. Now that is no need because 10 into 3 is the same as 3 into 10. So I just stop it here. Okay. So 30 can be written as product of these 2 factors with a plus sign here. Now what am I supposed to do? I will take one set out of this so that this plus sign says sum. Plus means sum. So the sum of the 2 factors should be this number. So 30, so what does it mean? 30 plus 1 should be here, not possible. 15 plus 2 should be here, not possible, but this is possible. 6 plus 5 is 11 is possible, isn't it? So out of the 4, I will take this. So why I took the sum of the numbers? Because this plus sign told me, because later on when it comes to minus, I have to take the difference. But today, for this problem, I will be taking plus because the plus is here. And how I got the plus? Because the plus was here and the plus was here. So plus into plus plus, and that gave me the answer. So plus 30, I wrote all the factors, combination of just 2 to each. 1 into 30, 2 into 15, 3 into 10 and 5 into 6. The sum of these 2 should be the middle number. Yes, 5 plus 6 is 11. So I need not worry. Now all I have to do is write x square. I can take that in any order, 6 or 5 or 5 or 6. That's my choice. So I can write 5x plus 6x, or I can also write 6x plus 5x, doesn't make any difference, that also we'll see, plus 30. So what I had done, I have broken the middle term. This is what is known as splitting the middle term property, or that factorization. The middle term has been split into 2 and now we have got 4 terms. So the second term, middle term, has been split into 2, so that from 3 I got 4. The moment I got 4, I know how to do 4. I can make groups and do it because that's what we have already learned. Here automatically you will see that you can take out common in groups. So just look at the first 2, you take x common, you get x plus 5. From the second, these 2 terms, there is no variable that is common because here you have x, here you don't have x. You cannot take out x, But between 6 and 30, the only thing that is common is 6, because both for them 6 is the factor. So, I can take out 6 as factor. So, x plus 5, correct? So, 6 into x, 6x, 6 into 5, 30, x into x, x square, x into 5, 5x. So, this can be written like this. This finally turns out to be x plus 5, since it is common to both, multiplied by x plus 6. So, this is nothing but this. So, we have split this middle term to get the two factors using this format. So, we will do one more sum to understand how this works. See, let us see, we can use the same way to do this problem. Say x square plus 5x minus 6. Now, here it was plus, but here it has become now minus. Okay, let us try. What is a here? Coefficient 1. 1 into 6. So, 1 into 6 is 6 with a minus sign. So, I have to take minus 6. Again, let me write all the factors I know. Okay. So, 1 and 6. Then what is that? 2 and 3. That's all, isn't it? The next one will be 3 and 2. So, no need to write that, because 2 and 3 or 3 and 2 doesn't make any difference. Okay. So, these are the only two combinations. Now, what should I do? Look at this sign minus. It means I have to find the difference of these two which tallies with the center number. 3 minus 2 is 1, whereas 6 minus 1 is 5. So, I will take this and not this. The center number is 5. But 2 plus 3 is 5, no doubt. But you are not supposed to take plus, you have to take minus, because this sign says minus. And why you got this minus? This was minus here. So, that is why this minus sign, or here the previous one it was plus sign, makes all the difference. Here 6 minus 1 is 5. 3 plus 2 is also 5, but I will take 6 minus 1 only because I have to do the subtraction. I am not to add. I will not add 2 and 3. I will subtract 6 minus 1. Okay, so what do I write here? X square. Now 6 minus 1 is 5. So can I write like this? Is it okay? 5x I have written as 6x minus x. Correct? 6 minus only x means 1x. Okay, so 6 minus 1x is 5x and then 6. So, I have got two sets here. So, all I have to do is take out the common. So, what is the common between the first two? X, x plus 6. Correct? Obviously, the second term also should have x plus 6 only. But I don't seem to be seeing any x plus 6 here. I am seeing only x minus 6. But that is okay. If I take out this minus 1 as common, in any case, the only thing that is common is 1, isn't it? This is a variable, this is a constant. So, the only thing that can be taken out is 1. Now, this can be written as x plus 6. But is it correct? That is most important for us to check always. Minus 1 into x minus x. Minus 1 into plus 6 minus 6. So, our answer is correct. Now, what is common between the two? X plus 6. The other one is x minus 1. These two are the factors for this particular polynomial. There are three terms. This term is a square term, this is without a square term, and this is a constant. So, this is the standard format, ax square plus bx plus c. In this order, whenever you say this, this is the only formula you will be using. A into c, right along with the sign. This sign will tell you what you are supposed to do with the factors. Are you supposed to add or subtract? So, if it is a minus sign, you are supposed to do the subtraction. If it is a plus sign, you are supposed to do the addition of the factors such that that number tallies with the central number. Having got this combination of 6 and 1, I will forget that 2 and 3. 6 and 1 has immediately given me 5x. How do I write here? 6 minus 1, isn't it? So, 6x minus 1x. Got 4 terms. The moment I got 4 terms, now it becomes very easy because I know I can take 2 at a time. But when I take 2 at a time, these two must be same. It will become same as long as we don't make any mistake. They will be same and you finally get the answer. So, this is the standard way of doing this problem. So, variable can be anything. Let us do one more problem which has something different in the sense that suppose the question says y to the power 4 minus 4y square plus 3. Now, does it look like ax square plus bx plus c? The standard format was ax square plus bx plus c. Yes, this is correct. Constant is constant, no problem. But here it is x and x square. Here it is y square and y to the power 4. Do you think I can use the same method of splitting the middle term for this also? Yes, as long as what is the power here is half of this. If this is 2, this can be 4. If this is 3, this can be 6. Just double. You understand that? Here it was 1, 1 into 2, 2. 2 into 2, 4. 3 into 2, 6. So, if it is 3 here, you can put here as 6. So, as long as it is of that format, we can make some assumption and follow the same procedure. For example, I can take y square is equal to x. Okay, that is my first assumption. So, if y square is x, the second term becomes 4x, correct? Because instead of y square, I can write x. The third term will remain as it is. What do I do for the first term? Y to the power 4. Y to the power 4 is nothing but y square whole square, which is x square, correct? So, y square, x square, whole square. So, the first term turns out to be x square. Now, I will do the entire problem with this. In the end, wherever I have x, I have to substitute y square there. Because the final answer, I should not get x, because my question is about y. I cannot leave an answer with x, because x is my assumption, which is what I have taken. I should not be leaving an answer with my assumption. I have to go back to the original one. For the time being, this is what something I like it, isn't it? This is something I have seen. I can deal with this. This was a little complex, but from this, I have brought to this. So, from here to here, how I got it? By substituting y square as x. So, always if this is double of this, it becomes very, very easy for us to do. Okay, having done this, now let us do our standard procedure. Coefficient here is 1, 1 into 3, 3 with a plus sign, because there is a plus sign here. Now, all the factors of 3, or rather the only factor is 1 and 3, isn't it? There cannot be anything else. 3 into 1, 3. So, this is the answer already, but how do you write here? Their sum should be minus 4. Their sum, you have to add them, because this is a plus sign here. So, I have to add these two to get a minus 4. How do I add 3 and 1 to get minus 4? If I make it as minus 3 and minus 1. So, I can write it here as x square minus 3x minus x plus 3. Please understand, this can be interchanged. It is not going to make any difference to your answer. You can put minus x in the front and minus 3 at the minus 3x behind that. So, again take the common. So, x minus 3 minus 1 x minus 3. Minus 1 into x minus x, minus 1 into minus 3 has become plus 3. So, these two terms are now same. So, I get the answer as x minus 3 into x minus 1. I cannot leave the answer here. X is not there in the question at all. It has been my assumption. So, how can I leave it like that? Let me go back and put it. So, the answer was x minus 3 and x minus 1. So, what is x actually? Y square. So, let me put it here. Y square minus 3, y square minus 1. So, instead of writing the final answer as x minus 3 and x minus 1, which is not the correct way of writing, because that has been our assumption, instead of x, I have written y square, because that is what I have taken. So, I feel my answer is correct. Can I leave it here? Do I have to put a little more attention to see where something else can be done? Is anything else more factorized? You know, anything else can be factorized? I don't think this can be factorized. But look at this. Just look at y square minus 1. Even though there is nothing common, you may say there is nothing common, what am I supposed to do with that? This does look like, correct? And the moment you write it like that, you realize immediately, oh, this is a square minus b square. This can be written as y plus 1 into y minus 1. So, here the final answer actually is y square minus 3 into y plus 1 into y minus 1. If you stop here, perhaps you may not be getting full marks for that, because this can be further done here. So, it is just like writing 30, if you write the factors as 6 into 5 and say my answer is correct. No, even 6 can be further done as 2 into 3, isn't it? So, that is what we are doing here. We just cannot leave it here. So, every time you break and get the final factors, please see that that is a final. That is a prime factor. This is a prime factor. This is not prime number. So, every composite number we can again break as product of primes. Similarly, this factor is not final. This can be further broken into 2 more prime factors. So, you have to go down to this level. So, for that you have to look at the expressions in a different way. You have cannot just leave it like that. Just a half a minute more just to look at this and see whether I can do this or not. The moment you realize that this can be done, please do that. Okay. So, that is very, very important. So, once you do this way, these are the standard procedures. So, y to the power 4 y square plus 3 again can be done, reduced to x square minus 4x plus 3 in a format which we know. We do this, substitute and continue the problem till the end. So, that is one very interesting problem. We will see whether we can do few more problems of this similar type, so that we sort of make a complete coverage of the entire type. Okay. So, this is the standard format. Let us see whether we can do few of these types.